Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. I got my coffee and I've got a replay as moi in the Loz's M4, which I've recently 2-marked. Doing pretty well in this thing. You got to like it, but it's tier 6, so let's not get too excited about that. I am in a tier 7 battle, and we are on Kareliadorf, Himmel's Kareliadorf. Standard battle, spawned into the northeast. All right, fellas. So, I'm going to need you guys to roll out the dead horse. Where's my dead horse stick? Gotta get a dead horse stick, and we must beat the dead horse further to death. We're going to talk about something that I talk about a lot, and this particular map shows it really well. And that is one of the biggest reasons why you're losing. Especially if you're new, intermediate, trying to get better at the game, or a beginner, right? If you're at the lower level to mid-level, you probably do this way too much, especially if you're a beginner. A lot of the guys in this game, and especially the ones that are going to do what I'm going to talk about here, are new to bad. They ran the gamut. A couple of them were brand new. A couple of them were 40, 50, 80,000 game guys. So we've got an M4 45. We've got a Juto. They're going to follow me. I'm going to come initially up here, and my game plan on this is I like to come to this position and see how many guys are going to get spotted coming up. Hopefully they do. It looks like we had a scout down there, so that works. We've got the Tiger, not the Tiger, the Super Chaffee, although he's not very close. Oh, it's Wesley. Oh, geez. Anyway, Wesley's over there. He's going to light a few of them, and we'll get a general idea of what's coming up to the corner, so I'm not going to overcommit, and then we'll see how many of these heavies show up, although right now we're looking at a Juto, a KV2, and an M445. Now that's our tier 7, guys. Two of them, both of them. So we have to hope that the other side of the map, the east side, holds at least for a while. So I already know we got a problem on the east side. I don't know where all of their tanks are, though I see their Ju-Nu, that's a tier 6. I'm more curious where their Leo and BZ-58 are. We have an advantage in heavies, don't we, though? So let's take that advantage over here and see what we can do. We'll be careful initially. I don't want to completely overcommit. Just take a pick. All right, their M6 is coming. That's important as well. I look back, here comes the Juto. I'm like, all right, is he charging forward? Is he with me or against me? He's with me, let's go. And I figure that's probably going to drag the M445 with us. If it doesn't, at the very least, he'll come to the corner, it looks like, and take shots if we need to back around this rock right here. So I'll position here. The Ju-Nu took hits, that's great. This guy's not looking. Let's slap him a couple times. Nice. Get him again. He's not even really looking at me. He's just trying to fix. I get a track out of him. And we'll back out. All right, we got away with 1. 3, actually, right there. We got away with 4, as a matter of fact. So very nice. That's good. That's a good start. What do we have going on? All right, Juto. Finally, the M445's coming. I'm not really sure what the hell he's doing. And the KV2. Maybe they were shooting at the M6 because he was too up high there. This is all fine. I don't see any big issues with this, but I do notice that their BZ-58 is down on the other side of the map, over in the southeast, so now I know where he is. I know that we have an M6, a Ju-Nu, and at least an Achilles, and maybe some other stuff behind there I don't know yet, but we can certainly take the M6 and Ju-Nu out, all right? Nothing wrong with that plan, solid plan. We have the tanks to do it. I don't have any issues with what these guys are doing. We're going to push in and we're going to kill these guys off. I kind of wish the M445 was in here earlier, but he's not. The M6 is stunned. I should have taken that opportunity to pop out. I was really hoping to see his gun turn away, but it's not necessarily, so. And he gets me, which, yeah, I walked into that one. But okay, we'll hit him again. Ju-Nu looks like he wants, I don't know what he wants, maybe to come around and shoot us. He dies. We'll let them kill the M6 unless I can no-kid get a shot where he can't shoot me. Okay, great. All right, pause once again. What do we got? Good start. Ju-Nu's dead, M6. We killed a 304. Fantastic. He moved up a little too close. Our main power is on this flank, right on this northwest portion of the map. But if we look at this and what's not lit on their side and the problem we have over on the other side of the map, it becomes immediately apparent to me anyway that what we need to do is not push. Now, if somebody wants to go and maybe try to kill the Achilles because he's overextended, see if maybe there's a few more hanging out down there in the rocks that we can get some kills on. That's all fine, but they've got an artillery, they've got a couple scouts, and they've got some TDs that aren't seen. I am expecting, goodness knows how many Camp-a-Lama Ding Dangs sitting over here, waiting for us to push. Also, that's a really open part of the map down here, guys. There's just no easy way to push, especially when we don't own the middle. Look, they own the middle top part here. Even worse plan to cross. We also don't really own the middle in the swamp. There's probably guys posted. There's nothing in this picture indicates to me that it's time to push towards our cap. Absolutely zero. As a matter of fact, quite the opposite. I am already getting vibes that we need to head back. Now we can hold this position. I don't have any issues necessarily with that with a tank or two. But other people, active people who are attempting to win games, are going to not push. All right? Maybe move to the middle here and take a peek down there potentially. Maybe fall all the way back and go around so that they can then help over here on this other side. I will tell you that if the M445, the Juto, and me, and maybe even the KV2, had just student body 180 east, headed all the way back across and come back over here and work down to the southeast, this probably would have been an absolute romple stomp. Okay? Now someone's already, Heavy's Noobs and M445 is saying why. No problem with what's going on. The problem is when people make bad assessments past this situation, and I can already see it. These guys are like, oh, we're winning the flank. We're winning the flank, so we're just going to keep on pushing in. That, my friends, is what is losing you games. It is not time to push. It could be time to push. There could be a situation, potentially. Let's say the middle, the Super Chaffee and whatnot, had kind of pushed into this area right here. And so we've kind of moved the middle. Let's say that the east side had won the hill. So we have the hill. We have the middle at least pushed back a bit. Now we have some crossfires and capabilities to do some peeks and pokes and start maybe moving down towards our cap. That might actually then bring the guys down here in the southeast back towards cap and allow the guys over here to make a move. But that's not what we have. They have the hill. The middle is at least neutral at best. So any push out into this open area down the one column is doomed to failure right now. So yes, you won the flank. That's great. That's a good and wonderful thing. But the continuation of pushing into guys shooting us from sniper positions, not the thing. And this is really hard to learn in this game. It really is, because people get looking down the soda straw, they get task saturated, and they do things like continue to put. Look at these guys. All three of the heavies. First of all, there's hardly any view range in those heavies. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they got bad view range. They're not very fast. The Juto's already down to a 1-shot/2-shot. Artillery's going in there. The Achilles has them lit. There's probably light tanks here and there. In fact, I know there is. Why? Because I just got lit by the bloody thing twice. Turns out the 5916 is right out in the middle here. That's why I was sort of coming out, going dark and peeking out a little more to find out what the angle was, and now I'm clicking where he is more or less. And just watch these guys. They're just... The M445 gets trapped. The KV2 is literally wandering around in the open. And this is how people get led down this primrose path, because this looks pretty good, guys. I mean, I'll admit, it's 5-2. You know, maybe if I jump in there, there's some more hit points, but I'm only at 574, right? Just watch how they get chewed up right here. Whack, whack. Oh, I'm lit. Okay, nothing I can do. I can't move from here because there's a light tank in the middle. I'm clicking on it. I'm hoping the super will go find him, but that's not of great use. We find him kind of wandering out in the open. Put a shot on him. Don't know if that hit. Looks like it might have. There's the Hellcat. I'm sort of begging that light tank to shoot. There we go. All right, he fired. That's a bummer. He wasn't lit. I was hoping maybe he'd get lit when he fired. Oh, there he is. So he maybe fired somebody else. I don't know. That was useful, though. We found him. That's part of what needed to happen in the game. But what's going on with the push, fellas? How's that push going? The M45 is now yelling for help. You completely put yourself in that situation, M445, and you absolutely did not need to. We had all kinds of time, so time wasn't even a factor. We did not have the map control, although we're starting to almost get it. The middle's starting to get spun up. But notice that they have plenty back there. They just shredded that push. And I'm watching all this go down. All right, so we got a Super Hellcat over there. Nope, he's behind a rock. Nothing I can do with him. M445's pinned down. 6-4. And I'll be honest with you, that push absolutely crushed our chances right there. Now this guy makes a big mistake just sort of wandering around here. I get a 95 on him and leave him alive, so naturally... Ooh, and then I get hit by one of their other Super Hellcats who's sitting back there. Brings me down to a one-shot, unfortunately. I'll take a couple blind shots. Switch back over just regular AP, so I'm not wasting my APCR on blind shots. Just a couple, see what happens. M445, he can't get away, right? He's spotted. He's in a position that's open. There's no retreat. There's no retreat route for him right there. And I'm telling you, a great example right there of the things that lose people battles. This battle was handled. This team was doing pretty well. It was huge to win that flank. The problem is, just because you won a flank doesn't mean you need to keep pushing. You might be able to push a little later. You might want to push a little bit to get to a position and kind of see if you could close out the Achilles or see somebody else being unwise. I think the 304 was out in the open. That's how he died, so that's great. We at least go ahead and take a look at it. But the push out of cover into a complete crossfire situation where we had 0 of the map control we needed and vision control for that push to have any kind of possibility of winning. And they were all heavies. I mean, there was so much wrong with that push. And the funny thing to me is how many people will just continue to do that over and over and over. It's mind-boggling to some extent, to be honest. And I suppose a lot of it has to do with just blaming other people. And, you know, it's not your fault that you pushed. We won the flank. We were pushing to the cap to win. Well, you got to set the conditions, man. None of that exists in a vacuum. So, yes, one flank. Yes, we could push to cap and win. That's one of the ways that you win. But you have to take into account the rest of the battle. The only way you do that is by looking at the mini-map, looking at the tanks they have, the tanks that are spotted, knowing the terrain, and whether or not you can make an assessment that that push has a reasonable chance of working at that particular time, and this simply did not. That analysis is so hard for so many players to make. But it's interesting to me that people who make that decision incorrectly will continue to make that decision incorrectly as much as they do. It's fascinating. So I'm going to head back around here. I wish I'd gone a little bit earlier. I kind of messed around looking for shots and hoping the enemy team would make mistakes. I really wish I'd come around this corner faster, because what I'm assessing now, and it was late, is that yes, we have a KV-1S and a 3485 that have pushed up on the hill, which is great, but they have a lot of tanks over there, and I'm expecting if they just come around that corner, there's nobody over here to keep them honest. I really wish I was on that corner right now as opposed to when I get there, because watch what happens. Exactly what I was assessing would happen late. I assessed it late. Ah, crap. Leo's moving. Yep. And he's got a lot of hit points. And he probably knows the 3045 is relatively low and that the KV-1S is relatively low because they've been over there brawling. Boom. There goes the 3045. That Leo has a pretty high alpha gun. I want to say it's a 300 alpha gun if he's got the big one. And now the KV-1S is doing his best to stay alive, and I'm thinking, crap. I'm hoping he can survive. Oh, he gets hit, gets lit on fire. Oh, man. I'm going to take a bit of a chance here, get a little revenge on this guy. Put 2 shots on him. That's a bummer, and now I've got to back out. Down goes the KV-1S. It was not able to save him. KV-2 just killed a KV-2, by the way, guys. Probably a sniper shot from across there. Just killed the 54, 45, whatever it is. What is that thing? M454. Math is hard, you know what I mean? Lysdexia. What is it? fellas. What is that? It is a M445. I only wish we had a 54. Actually, that would be fantastic because then we'd have a tier 9 and they would not. But that is not what is happening. Run, run away. Run, run away. And that's it. We're still complaining about the heavies. Noobs on line A. You know, that is an interesting comment too from him because it is both correct and incorrect. They did a nice job with the push. It's just you have to react. Try to divorce yourself from this idea, especially when you're driving heavies in this game, that if you go to one flank, that's the only place you can go to. Sometimes that is the situation depending on the map and the mode and how fast you are, etc. But I would say most of you could open up your aperture of what's possible in terms of moving around the map by just giving it a shot. And don't ever just say, can't do it. Don't say, all right, well, I know that this map has pretty wide flanks on it, so I'm going to pick one side or the other, go there and die or win. Well, I mean, you can do that, but how about not? How about go to the north flank, win, assess what's going on, and then move back towards this side? This really sucks. I have a bad time with this, man. Like, all right. Nope, that's a miss. That sucks. Artie's not... Oh, that was kind of a bad... I don't know what happened there. The palsy. That's a bounce. Oh, geez. Honestly, I needed several of those to hit in order to win this, but it is unfortunate. Screen not penetrated. Wow. All right, there we go. He's going to come out just enough, unfortunately. As you can see this kind of cover right here, he's going to come just, I think, enough to the right of it that I'm not quite behind the thick part of the bush here. It's unfortunate. Oh, no, no. Yep, down I go. Let's see if anybody was closer. Not that I can see. Maybe the Super Hellcat had the vision. Don't know, but I was obviously seen. So we end up with 1,915 damage, 183 assist, and a long discussion. Beating the dead horse on one of the biggest reasons that if you're beginner, new to beginner bad, as in you have bad stats and you basically play as a beginner in terms of your stats, to intermediate, one of the biggest things that causes you to lose games. This is pretty much it, guys. I used to say it was kind of analog, win your flank, go back. I backed off that just a little bit, but I think it's still good advice. I mean, if you lacked any kind of other idea in the game and you went to your flank and you left that flank and went back to the other flank, I bet you would increase your win rate if it was already bad. But this particular map really shows it well, and this game was pretty much easily seen. When is it a bad time to continue pushing a flank? Well, there it is, fellas. This is it. That is it. You know, if we had some more control of the middle, or we had that hill up there and some more crossfires, maybe that push then becomes viable. And maybe if I push with them, I got a little more vision potentially. We spot some of the guys, or we get some more speed to get up underneath them. Getting up underneath them is a great deal. But at that point in this match, that was absolutely not the push to do. And it essentially lost us the game because we threw away a bunch of good tanks that had just done a good job grabbing a flank. Right? Try not to follow up success with bad ideas. All right. Let me know what you think down below. That's all I've got. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you.